Thanks for staying with us. I'm Bill O'Reilly in the Miller Time segment tonight. Let's get right to the sage of Southern California, joining us now from Santa Barbara. All right, Miller, you heard Geraldo on top talking about Al Gore and Al Jazeera, and you say?
Well, you shouldn't get too deep with Al Gore. He's a bad guy. Ethically speaking, he makes John Edwards look like Sir Thomas More. At least Edwards was just a horn dog. This guy is an absolute genius at rationalization. Imagine the Rube Goldbergian contraption he has put up inside that thin little pea pod he calls his brain case to be allowed to think that he, at the vanguard of the Green Movement, can do business with big oil like this. How does Gore sleep at night other than, eating a bag of donuts and hooking himself up to an IV of Yoo-Hoo and nodding off in a sugar coma? He's an empty hack. He's such an empty hack. I'm surprised he didn't become our president. And, at this point, I would say, Al, go seek absolution from Oprah. That's all you got left.
Now, when did you, and this is a serious question, when did you decide that he was a bad guy?
Well, I think when he made this much hay off a heartfelt cause. I don't like guys who profit from being a prophet. I think Gore was, quite frankly, in his youth, kind of the Eloise of the Willard Hotel in D.C. He's always lived in the wake of his old man. He was trying to, carve out on his own. He got his head handed to him when he ran for election, and the people who turned him back, he's going to say Florida. I'm going to say it was Tennessee. The people who knew him best knew that he shouldn't be allowed near that presidency. I think it broke his spirit. He decided to make any deal with any hot devil that he could, and he chose global warming, and now he's probably worth north of $250 million. Good for him. I'm glad he's rich. But if he thinks we haven't noticed, he's a big hack who's completely full of it. I don't know who's kidding who.
All right. Now, last night we had a discussion about welfare recipients, a few of them, not many, a few, here in New York.
Really, Billy? It's a few.
Well, they did a Freedom of Information Act.
I haven't seen the work.
They did a Freedom of Information Act, and it came up with a few people using their welfare cards and strip joints and gambling places and booze places, all right? So then we brought on Jimmy McMillan, who knows the street, to say this. Go. Seriously, you think somebody's going to walk into a strip club just because they want to get some of their welfare benefits and then walk out? I mean, come on.
Well, I'm a former stripper.
And you are a former stripper? Here in the United States or in some other country?
In the United States. And being a former stripper, and 100% of the strippers are welfare recipients. And
wait. You're telling me that the strippers are welfare recipients?
Yes.
Aren't you getting paid?
They need that money because they have someone babysitting their children. So when they get off from work, they may have to get money from that machine.
So you buy a Jimmy or what?
Well, thank God it's only, what did you say, 3 or 4 people in the entire country doing that? 7, 8? Where's it at?
In New York. Weren't that many? I don't know the exact number. Weren't that many?
As long as it's a few. Now, you're telling me this Ming the Merciless cat was a stripper?
He's telling me. I'm not telling you. It's what he said.
I'm telling you the stage is too damn low if this guy's a stripper. And I don't need him coming in here and dangling his belief systems in front of me. All right? Who says you can't spend food stamps on edible undies, Billy? It's the American way. This country's going to hell in a G-string. Enjoy the ride.
I knew you were going to load up on poor Jim. Even during the segment, I'm thinking, I bet you Miller's watching this taking notes. I mean, talk about setting up at the table. Oh, my God.
Well, that cat's like 8,000. Where was he stripping? At the Garden of Eden?
That's what I want to know. Was it Molly you were working, or was it, where? Wow. Where was that?
I didn't know we had come up out of the sea at that point, much less Jimmy stripping.
Yeah, he worked at the Paramecium. All right. Congress in a new poll. People prefer cockroaches and the actual bug. Here's what people prefer to Congress: root canal, head lice, colonoscopies, cockroaches in France. And you say, Miller?
I can understand head lice, cockroaches, and colonoscopies, but France, for God's sake.
That's over the top. You can't insult our people that much.
That is brutal. Listen, I don't think much of Congress, but to say they're thought of less than France, that's inhumane. You know something? Jimmy stripped at the grand opening of the Eiffel Tower.
Now,
listen, let's face facts. Congress people aren't the brightest people in the world. Out of the 535 up there, there's probably 35 good, principled, smart people who you look up at and aspire to. The rest of them weren't smart enough, weren't good enough in sports, and hadn't mastered a musical instrument. To be in Congress was their last chance of having sex. So
no, I disagree. I think about half of them are patriots and noble, but they're
only
the
one
folks,
half.
The folks
only
are including
one half of a person out of 535.
Yeah, about half.
Only one half.
I'd say half.
0.5.
And in the Senate,
half of them.
And the Senate is included in it. It's not just the House. People have no regard because they realize that most or many of the representatives on the Hill just not looking out for us, Miller, like Jimmy is. Jimmy's looking out for us.
Well, it's not like it used to be. Billy, have you ever seen any of the old wood cuttings of Jimmy stripping at Valley Forge?
I have not seen anything. See, well, I think at that point in the history that wood cutting wasn't developed enough. We might be able to go.
It kept the troops together. It kept the troops together during that cold winter, how horrified they were by Jimmy stripping.
Dennis Miller, everybody. I'm not responsible. And both the D-Man and I would like to thank you because tickets for the Bolder Fresher show is going fast. We'll see you in Phoenix, February 22nd. L.A. at the Nokia Theater, March 1st. DAR Constitutional Hall in Washington, April 26th. Westbury, Long Island, June 1st. Info on all the shows on BillO'Reilly.com.